Hey, yo, man, what time is it?
You know what time it is, man.
2 a.m.?
Yeah, man.
Man, you know what?
What's that?
It's 8:46, bro.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah, you know what time that is.
Yeah, man.
Nappy head,
Yo,
Funk Army.
what's up?
Stand up. Get it live, y'all.
Yo, Mo, drop that beat.
You know what we gotta do.
Yeah, man.
We bringing this funk just for you.
You know,
Repeat after me. Say, you don't have to be the best, just gotta outlast the rest. You don't have to be the best,
you don't.
just gotta outlast the rest.
No, you don't.
You don't have to be the best, just gotta outlast the rest. You don't have to be the best, just gotta outlast the rest. United we stand, divided we fall. Should our backs ever beat against the wall, we'll be together until the jam is done. I'ma say that again for you. United we stand, divided we fall. Should our backs ever be against the wall, we'll be together until the jam is done. Here we go, y'all. Now let me tell you a little story about United We Stand. It says we're gonna funk across this funkless land. We gon' stand up and let our voices be heard. We ain't gonna let nobody stop us from spreading the spiritual word. The ruthless corporate greedy don't give a damn about the needy. We need everybody in the house to join us on this one, alright? Y'all say, united we stand, divided we fall. Should our backs ever be against the wall, we'll be together until the jam is done. Are y'all out there? You feeling me? United we stand, come on, y'all. Divided we fall. Should our backs ever be against the wall, we'll be together until the jam is done. Yeah. Check. 1, 2, 1, 2. United we stand, divided we fall. Funkin' with the poor people most of all, as they poison our mind with food control. Third eye is wise, sacrifice. Wake up and see what they doing to you and me. Keeping a separate product of Illuminati, like the jail cell did my boss John Gotti. Dirty politics and high-priced prostitution reside in all the important positions. Just look around at the injustice in the world. Some forced to live in a deplorable conditions. Watch us, watch what we do. This rap is coming up just for you. So sit back, relax, check out our phone calls. The nappy hip-hop army always bumping in your drum. Twitter, tweet, the TikTok. The ruthless corporate greedies don't give a damn about the needies. A movement, genocide and homicide is happening all around the world. Promise me this, promise me that, when all the fat cats stabbing us in the back. Man, get off my back, bro. Killing me. Let me see you wave your hand. We all wanna take a stand. Rise up against the corporate man. Let me head all across this land. Oh yeah. Nothing but this new type funk 2022.
What up, what up, what up? Memorial Day. Yes, yes, yes. You are watching live Funk from the front seat. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. It's the last of our 4 years of anniversary stuff we've been doing. I look in the mirror sometime, I'm like, wow, 4 years I've been knocking this out with Mark Lee, all these amazing guests, one of which we have today, Mr. Tim Kenley, P-Funk historian. I'm going to drop some dimes of knowledge on you. We're going to talk a little bit about the show, talk a little bit about the world and the state of where we see the funk going and what we're doing with it and how we just keep the funk alive by keeping in touch with each other. I want to thank everybody, especially my friends on the West Coast, Cindy way up there in Seattle, and Lisa Love, and, all the people of Skunk Mob on the West Coast, and, Spacey T, and all my funk friends out that way that support the show and been special guests from time to time. I want to thank everybody. If you got a birthday today, it's Memorial Day weekend. Obviously, we're honoring our veterans and thinking about our brothers and sisters of all races, creeds, and colors that have fought, died, and are in cemeteries now, and our families have to hang on to the memories and go and think about the things that they did to keep us safe, so I can do shows like this, so you guys can continue to watch. Forgive me, but my allergies again are bothering me. I just got up in North Carolina with that, so if you see me sniffling, I'm okay. And I definitely want to shout out my mother and father, Zach Robertson, Reverend Zach Robertson, and my mom, Hetty Davis Robertson, for having me, and my whole funk family, for taking care of me, and everybody that stood by me while I'm dealing with some things right now. But I forget to shout out my mom and dad on Memorial Day, and I have to make sure that I do that. It's also the last couple of days of Mental Health Awareness Month. So if you think you have issues, man, don't be afraid. It's okay to talk to somebody. People, are there for me, and I talk to them all the time. And, they help me get through some things, man. And it's the anniversary, obviously, 4 years, I believe, of Mr. George Floyd, which is why I wanted to start out with United We Stand, because in the beginning I said, hey, what time is it? 8:46, and that was the opposite time they stood on his neck. We now know it's over 9 minutes, but that was what that 8:46 reference in that song is about. So we want to think, where have we come? What have we done? Are we getting better? Can we honor his death in some type of way, to make things better for all people? So keep that in mind today as you're out and about in your busy weekend. It is the 2-year anniversary of the Texas Valdez shooting. All right. So again, I have to mention these things because they're important dates in our history. And, our country's messed up. We all know it's jacked, but also it's one of the greatest countries in the world, which is why I continue to represent it, not as a black man, but just as a black American and as an American and as a P-Funketeer, Club Funketeer ambassador. I got to go high if anybody goes low. So that's what that's about. We must find joy in the midst of chaos. And I know Funk from the Front Scene is honored, and always it's a thrill to have this brother, Mr. Tim Kenley, on. He's one state away in South Carolina, but this brother goes to the Wayback Machine with the funk. He was there when the first, pistons and rods were placed in the mothership. He was probably one of the mutual designers of the gull, of the hull and the guts of the mothership. He was down there knee deep in the oil, like it was with the Titanic down there when they were shoveling coal to keep the mothership running. This brother has been around. He's done everything. Check out his website because he got pictures galore. Right now, without further ado, my funk brother, Club Funketeer ambassador, Mr. Tim Kenley. How are you, sir?
Hello. Greetings to North Carolina from South Carolina. How are you, sir?
I am well. I am dealing with life's issues, but I'm grateful to have you on for this last show that we're doing for our anniversary. I can come out of my space classes now as I just landed.
There you go.
And they help me see a little bit better when I'm in space. You know what I'm saying? Now I can put on my Earth suit glasses and I can actually see some things with these eyeballs. Yeah, man, everything is beautiful. Everything is groovy. Yeah, I feel that. How's your family?
Everybody here is fine. We were in. I don't know if we can call it your neck of the woods, but we were in North Carolina last week or 2 weeks ago.
Okay, what part?
Cherokee.
Okay. Oh, right. That's where they was at. Yeah.
Man, yeah, and of course the P-Funk threw down righteously and without any kind of shame. It was fantastic.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. So how long was the show?
About an hour and a half.
Okay. And I'm sure they did it, their
much.
classics and stuff like that. We're on a delay, I guess, right?
Man, we're on a big delay. I know.
Okay, no worries. No, I just want to
man.
know. Yeah, good. You good?
Oh yeah, no problem. I mean, if you're talking about the classics that they pulled out Nappy Dugout. They pulled out what else? A Joyful Process. That nearly blew my mind. Yes, yeah. Good Thoughts, Bad Thoughts right before Maggot Brain. It was a great night completely.
Yeah. I can imagine, man. I'm happy to see that they still out there and George is still, doing his thing and making it work. And, it's always good, man. So tell me, what have you been doing since we last? Oh, go ahead.
No. Oh, no. Go ahead. Ask the question.
I was just going to say, what have you been doing with the funk since we last spoke?
Well, traveling all around the world for the funk, like I was, like we were there in Cherokee, and of course Donna, fellow funketeer and my partner in time, sends her love to everybody there in your area. We've also been working on the similar projects of like getting Boosie down to South Carolina again for the Funk Not Fight campaign, like you've been doing yourself. And some, and there's a whole bunch of other music-related activities. So we're keeping busy every minute of the day, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Right now it's going to be one of those summers because new funk music is out. Funk bands are all over the place playing, and they're still grassroots, but we're trying to keep the funk alive. That's why I've been blessed and with this opportunity to talk to people like yourself who come on the show. And, I want everybody to know, number one, and I need to make this disclaimer, no one gets paid when they come on. All these guests come on as volunteering their time. And Mark and I really appreciate that. Number one. And then, eventually we'll have some merchandise, but I just wanted to thank everybody and let everybody know. Number two, any opinions on this show are just that of myself and my guests and my producers, not StreamYard, not YouTube, not Facebook, not Twitter, not TikTok. These are just my opinions. Music you hear, I don't own the rights to it, but I do have the rights to play some of it from certain people. So I just want to put that out there as a disclosure. So Let me ask you something. When we look back at the essence, the beginning, what got you into the funk? For my guests that just are meeting you for the first time.
I think I guess I can call myself a latecomer by most standards, because I got into the funk. I got into music in general in 1978, but the funk is what brought me into all that mess, because it was in 1978 the Flashlight came out, and I was completely hooked for life. And it was probably the best time to get into the funk, because they were releasing so much product during the year that they didn't even let you get tired of one record before they put out another new record for all us funketeers to embrace. That was the great part of 1978. Not only were they releasing a whole bunch of new product that was, taking black music to another realm. But they were also, the older albums were all in the cutout bin and all very affordable, like $2.99, $1.99. I couldn't wait to scour those bins to find Funkadelic and Parliament albums that I missed, and it was a perfect time to become a Funketeer. I could embrace the past, the present, and look forward to a solid future. Because even as we know, in the next year, they still continue to have hits. They still continue to release, ridiculous albums that just redefine, what we think of as black music.
I know when I first heard Bootsy's voice, hello, baby, this is the Ghost of Reason calling, Bubba. And he's not the only sand at the beach. We heard that voice, and we was like, wow. So that's what he sounds like, because we knew about his playing from James Brown, but we had never heard his voice, right? Then when Stretching Out dropped, we heard that voice, and we were like, oh, so this is the dude.
Right. Yes.
Brown dude who did Clinton and now got his own shit popping,
Exactly.
As soon as he said, hallelujah, I was hooked. I was like, oh, okay, I'm a Bootsy guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
My God.
Oh, I found all my Bootsy albums at Woolworth, of all places. I went in, after I was like, embracing the funk in every direction. And then when I went to Woolworth, all of his previous albums were in their record bin at that time. I just said,
yeah. See, in New York, where I was at, I was fortunate because we had Tower Records, and they were always the first to get out everything, You froze a little bit, but I'll pick up when you freeze. Don't worry about it. We had Tower Records, and they would always put the top hot albums in the glass in the window. So when you walk by, it was like Parliament, P-Funk had their own section in the glass, because it was Mothership Connection, it was Stretching Out, and it was the clones of Dr. Funkenstein were all sitting there. And we were like, oh, my God. And like you said, the fact that they were putting out so much music and making so much music, I thought it was the next Motown. That was my concept behind it. What was yours? Tim is freezing up a little bit, but I'll let him get back in a minute. But that was my concept. I actually thought...
if you can repeat it.
Okay, go ahead. You there? Yeah, he's freezing up a little bit. I thought when George and then with Bernie and Bootsy, everybody was putting out all those albums, it kind of reminded me of what Barry Gordy was doing with all the players at Motown. And it was kind of the same concept. What did you think about that?
Oh, I loved it. I loved the fact that not only was it kind of like continuing what Barry Gordy did in the 1960s, but it was also blacker. No question about it.
Yeah.
He wasn't, you have to look at it. You have to listen to it. And it's like, this music is so, even the hits are just so non-crossover. They just happen to be played on the radio. I'm going to say something that you're going to probably give me some pushback on. So bear with me, all right?
Go for it.
You still there?
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm here. We see you. You're good. We'll have some
Okay. It's okay. It's all right. I know you're probably going to give me some pushback on this, but in some ways, I don't know if those records had any business being played on the radio.
They would have what?
I don't know if those records had any business being played on the radio. Think about everything that you heard on the radio in 1976, 1977. All of those songs, the vast majority of those songs were all radio friendly. They were all tailored for mass radio airplay. And then, like you said, you come and then Bootsy comes in with Hallelujah. That's not radio friendly. That's funk for your veins. And I don't know. Oh wow, look at this. Bootsy trying to attack me now. Okay, here we go.
Oh, see, hey, that's what's up. That's dope. See, that's the spirit of the funk right there.
You see this?
Spirit of the funk, bro. Spirit of the funk, man.
Oh man, hold on for a minute. Hold on.
That is so funny.
There we go. We got something. I got something in front of it now, so Bootsy won't be attacking me during this interview. You know, and I think that's the great thing. Yes. It's like a lot of those songs were not radio friendly. I think they were contrived to be hits. I don't think that anybody expected them to be crossover hits. You know,
I agree with you.
You know, they, like when I first got with them. When you think about everything that was played on the radio in the spring of 1978, Billy Joel, the Bee Gees, a lot of disco, some pop stuff that was also tailor-made for the radio. And then here comes Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep. That's not radio friendly. That's funk for your ass. And that's why I've always considered that funk was that kind of funk was never radio friendly. And I think that's why it changed the world.
You know, it's funny.
It changed the world because it didn't conform to everything else on the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
And yes, I am. And I agree with you 100% because it hit generationally. Like hip hop hit these young kids, when that funk hit, it hit us, and they became at least me. I always said they were my superheroes because I wanted to dress like them. I wanted to talk like them. I wanted to be hip like them. I wanted to smoke weed like them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. When you just think about what you went through when you went to the newsstand with all those magazines, Right On, Rock and Soul, Black Beat, and all those other magazines, and you saw all those magazines, and they were all on the cover. They were never on the cover of Rolling Stone or Hit Parader or People magazine or any of those white pop culture mags. They were, but in terms of black music, in terms of black magazines, they were all covered at one point. At a certain point, that's all you saw. There were a number of times when I saw George or Bootsy on the cover of of more than one magazine. That was ridiculous. That's why I had to do what I do now, because you just can't look at those covers and say, this is a great thing. I had to have those covers because it was like a new revolution taking place.
I agree 100%. It was definitely a revolution. It was a funk revolution. And we'll have some issues with that freezing, but we're going to keep talking until the brother comes back on. It was a funk revolution. And I remember thinking to myself, like, these people are representing music, but they're also showing me and teaching me how to do something that, is still organized chaos and still having fun. And you can dress hip, because all of those groups that used to dress in ties and suits.
Okay, we're back.
Yeah. All those groups that used to dress in ties and suits when they were off stage used to dress in jeans and sneakers like P-Funk, because there's pictures of them hanging out, And I wanted to do right?
Exactly. 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 It's probably cheaper to do it that way, Yep. But then when they get into these high level costumes, they're somebody wearing a diaper on stage. That's pretty, So for somebody who may not understand the band, that's a pretty jolting image. You know,
Yeah, it is.
this thin black dude in a guitar in a you know playing his heart out on guitar. You know, it's like, wow, there's a sense of righteousness in the music that you simply don't find, not only with the music that came before, although I love the earliest, you know, the soul music from the first part of the 1970s, but there's a righteousness that I don't even see in a lot of other funk bands. But P-Funk, it was like a tribe.
Yeah,
That's what you see in P-Funk that you don't see in any other band.
yeah.
Look at those videos from like 1978, 1979. Even at this time when they're selling a lot of records, you go to their shows and it's still something tribal. It's still something let's say something homegrown, not the standard kind of entertainment you're used to seeing from black acts. It's very tribal. It's a black tribalistic feeling you just don't get in any other band, in any other recording act for that matter. I think Sun Ra was like the closest thing to replicating that, to creating that same kind of vibe. But again, Sun Ra he had no hit records. You didn't really see a lot of brothers and sisters singing songs from Sun Ra on the street corner. But in terms of P-Funk, that's all we were singing at one point. I want to say one. Do one story, and I give it back. I give the four black to you. I remember one time I was in Times Square. I saw a black homeless dude. I probably missing most of his teeth, but he had a transistor radio with him in his hand, and I think he was listening to Kiss or BLS, and they just happened to be playing "Tear the Roof Off the Sucker." The happiness that man was experiencing at that time, even though he was homeless, toothless, probably couldn't find where his next meal was coming from. Yet when that song came on, it took him to another realm. It didn't matter what his social situation was at that time. When that song came on, he sang his ass off. He sang loud. And hell, since it was P-Funk, I had to sing with him. Again, I probably gave him some money after that.
Right.
You know, so there you go. I don't know if that's the same. If that would have been the same case with any other prominent black act. To cut through that man's personal, social situation, the way that song did this wasn't in 1976. This was like what, 1990 something, when a lot of those stations were starting to play classics. And when that song came on, that brother lost his mind. And I respect a brother I respect anyone that loses their mind over P-Funk, because that's the kind of music you should be losing your mind to anyway.
You know, and we're hanging out with Tim Kinley, P-Funk historian today. He was kind enough to spend some time with us. Club Funkity ambassador. We're working together to actually get some stuff down here for Bootsy Collins and Peppermint Patty Collins, and work on the Funk Not Fight, as well as Stop the Bullying that they get ready to do. A shout out to my guy Darrell Jones too, which we're going to be putting a project together as soon as we can both get our schedules right, and it's going to be called The Strongest Link. Going to be seen right here on 9 on the Grind TV, and also Lisa Love, working with her on the project as well. So we tell you the truth, we are putting these things out. It just takes a minute to kind of get logistically everything done. Also, shout out to Lisa Love, because her and I worked together and we did one of our songs, and it's going to be Dirtiest Vamp, and we're putting that out, as well as Nappy Head Funk Army putting out some new stuff. Grid Go Down. So y'all stay tuned for all of that stuff, because we get our funk from the P, the original funk. I wanted to ask you, because I know for me, when I started meeting some of the guys and girls. It was one thing to see them on albums, see them on Madison Square Garden, and they was like this tall, and I was way up in the crow's nest. I would always work my way down by the end of the concert to the front of the stage, you know, and watch them and study because I knew that's what I wanted to do. But I couldn't reach out and touch them. It wasn't until they started playing smaller venues where I could wait by the bus or wait backstage where I could start meeting them. And the one thing I found out, they were all just nice guys willing to break bread with me, drink a beer with me, and hang out and smoke a joint. I was so happy because I was like, wow, these are just regular guys and girls. Your thoughts? Oh, you there? I see you. You there for me? Yeah, but anyway, I would hang out with these people. I'd be like, wow, they're just, regular down to earth people hanging out. I was
Hope you're still
fortunate.
there.
Yeah, you here. I got
You're
you.
still there.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. We got you. We see you. I see you. I'm gonna remove him for a minute till he comes back. But yeah, I was like, they're regular guys and girls and down to earth. And when I got a chance to go and hang out up where the mothership was, which I ain't gonna never tell nobody where it was, and meet them and hang out inside there where they actually did the mothership, it was dope. And it was just brilliant to be a part of that. We're waiting on Tim to get this technical thing back together. Come back in, sir. Oh, he's frozen. So go back in and go back out. Yeah, we gotta take him out. Just come back in when you reboot. But I was so happy. And you're right, Eric North watching. You said dude was from Saturn. I believe he was. I've met George and Bootsy and Bernie and all of them in a few different space locations out of this dimension and this time. That's what that funk music could do to you. We were blessed because in New York, like I said, we had Tower Records. So as soon as something that was hot came out, we would get it. But also we had all the off-brand record stores in the village, and you could always find Funkadelic, Parliament, Xavier, Brides of Funkenstein, Boosie's Rubber Band, Horny Horns, the JBs, and we had, and Tim, you there? I'm gonna see if I can get Tim back here. Okay. I'm gonna save this for him. There was a gentleman at NYU called Terry Terrell, and he had a show on Saturdays from 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock, and all he would play was P-Funk. And I don't know Terry Terrell. I don't know if they're still alive or not. But if you're here, bro, if you're not, I love you for that. Because every Saturday before we go out to the parties, we'd hang out and listen to Terry Terrell. And that's when I heard, Dennis Chambers playing, with Don Blackman. And that's when I heard, the Horny Horns. And that's when I heard Between Two Sheets. You know what I mean? By Bootsy Collins and Fred Wesley. So there were stations, college stations, that were pumping it. So we were fortunate. But the music always started down south first, because my friends would come back and be like, yo, Parliament got the dope jam, And I'd be like, yo, I ain't got it yet. What's up with that? And it's like, it's not up here yet, So I would get a little mad sometimes. But being a funketeer, we'd always find a way. I'd always find somebody on Long Island that had what I was looking for when it came to that funk. All right. Our guest today was Tim Kinley, but he's having some issues, so we're going to get him back in a minute. Thank you all for joining our 4th anniversary. I know it's a holiday. Yo, Eric, thank you, man, for tuning in. I know it's a holiday. I know we got things to do. We ain't going to keep everybody today long at all. We're going to knock an hour and a half out, or an hour 15, and then get out of here because, we know you guys got things to do out there. You got some funk to do. Just remind yourselves, be safe. My quote of today is find joy in the midst of chaos. And shout out to everybody that's watching the show. What's up, C? I love you. Thank you for my wardrobe consultant today. Thank you. I didn't do no around the world shout out today because I was just too tired. But, we'll get to that maybe at the end of the show. Mr. Mark Lee, we're having tech with, Tim. So he's back and forth, bouncing in and out. So maybe, you know, if you want to just hang out with us for a minute, because we're talking straight funk. And I said, my quote of the day, joy in the midst of chaos.
I like that. Joy in the midst of chaos. That's always a good thing to have. I know that here in Durham there's going to be a big event, so there's going to be a big event. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to go to it, but you know it's hot down here, so I might wait till it cools down. But a lot of the soul food trucks are going to be down at Central Park, so they got something called Taste of Soul that's going on, I think, from 3 to 8. So that might be interesting. But like I said, I know it's a little bit hot and humid right now, so yours truly might not be making a beeline to that point right now. But I don't know if you saw what I put in chat, but you're talking about Tower Records. I think Tower Records might have been down here, but in '74, I remember another very popular record store that I don't even know if they still exist, but it had a cool name. And I think it might have even got up to the Northeast, but I know it was down here called School Kids. So I was wondering, because that's where I learned a lot of the funk musicians and a lot of the folks you would get your records from, School Kids, because I think it started in '74.
They would always be down here first, testing it out. Up in Winston-Salem, Charlotte, everybody would play up there, and then they would come to the bigger cities. You know, that's why the music was always down here, like, you know, the Midwest and everything, in Ohio, where everybody else was at. Everybody would be getting it, but we would be getting it, but it would be like saying like 4 weeks behind. You know what I'm saying? It would be on the radio, and then it will pop out. But a lot of that music was already out,
right?
Because I would look at the date of the album and see when it came through. I see Tim. Tim, you there? He's trying to reboot. All right, we'll wait for us to get him in. Again, this is our 4th year anniversary show. My producer, Mr. Mark Lee, is amazing. And thank you, Mark, for all the stuff that you do when it comes to this funk show. We're going to show one of these videos right now, Mark, if that's okay. I'm going to give my guy, my dog, you know, he gave us a shout out, and I want to acknowledge him. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to show you something that we did at Shakori a minute ago. All right, y'all hang out.
Peace. What's up, Funk family? This is your main man, DJ MC Eric J, also known as the Funkaholic, designated hitter for the funk from the Nappy Head Funk Army. Just checking in with y'all to give my main man, Zach, number 9, congratulations for the 4th anniversary of Funk from the Front Seat. Y'all best to tune in. You heard?
Hey fam, what's goody good? What's really good? My name is Jeff Roberson from the gospel group called Jeff Roberson and New Life. And I'm coming to you from the town that we had to name it twice. It's so nice. New York, New York. And I'm bringing you some news about my brother from another mother, Brother Zach, who's bringing you his hot new show called Funk from the Front Seat. Listen, he's bringing you funk from the vault, from the past, from the present, and into the future. He's got that music that makes the hair on the back of your neck rise up. He's bringing you funk all the way down to your toes. This is that funk that makes you really want to groove. Stay tuned. Don't touch that dial as he brings you funk from the front seat. Listen, let's go.
Hey, this is Keith Jackson with P-Funk Radio, inviting you to check out my brother Zach Robinson with Funk from the Front Seat. Saturdays, 12 noon on the East Coast and 9 a.m. on the West Coast. It all happens on 9 on the Grind TV and also on YouTube. Great guest, great conversation each and every Saturday. That's Funk from the Front Seat with Zach Robinson on 9 on the Grind TV and YouTube. Check him out.
What's up, Royal Funk fans? This is Lisa Love, aka Alpha Unk Omega, coming to you from Love's Temple here in Southern California, inviting you to 9 on the Grind, Funk from the Front Seat with Zach Robinson. This is what I want you to do for me. Tune in every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Come join the meeting of minds. I guarantee soul's growth and high vibrations, not to mention the love. Keep it funky, y'all.
That's what's up. A few shout outs for those that are watching and everybody that helps produce the show and those that continue to push it. We got Tim Kinley on, and we're having some difficulty, so we're going to edit one of those, Mark, because he's in there twice. So see if you can get one of them out while we continue. It's our 4th anniversary. Remember, it's Memorial Day weekend. I don't know what it means to everybody, but all I know is that I take pride in saying that I'm honored to say for all the men and women that are soldiers that are fighting, to me, in unnecessary wars, but I don't make the rules. I just want to say thank you to all of you. Appreciate all of you guys, and everything that you do makes it possible so I can sit here on Saturdays and mess around for an hour and a half. So I really, really appreciate that. While we're hanging out, our 4-year anniversary, I wanted to give a shout out to some people that have been, supporting the show for a long time. JTRP, P-Funk Radio, Gabe Gonzalez, Larry Funkster Jones, Robin Circle of Pete, Mr. Boosie Collins and Peppermint Patty, Brenda in Ohio, what's up? Thank you for your love and support. HJ Entertainment, Kane and Jams, Sherilyn Woodhouse, and all the Club Funketeer line dancers and skaters around the world. Dr. Pamela, I love you. Tony Cam, of course, I love you, and Jackie, the Funk All-Stars. NHFA, Nappyhead Funk Army. Y'all doing your thing. Congrats on getting into the Funk Hall of Fame up in Dayton, Ohio. Mr. David Webb, Funk Chronicles Exhibition Center. I love you, brother. Afterglow 92416. And I always talk about one of my original gifts that I was given was a Toast to the Boogie by Afterglow 92416. Donna hooked me up with this hat, and I wear this with pride all the time, because I consider myself a P-Funk veteran. I see we got Mr. Kinley back, Mark. Let's bring him in after this. Q&A Entertainment, I love you. Brooke Clagett, my funk angel, I love you. Patricia Diorier, Curtis Wilcox of Georgia Funk Da Vinci, for all your beautiful artwork up there. I love you guys. Dr. Brookenstein, David Brooks, I love you. DJ Coccolino in Ireland. I'm DJ Coccolino in Italy, and Elizabetta in Ireland. Thank you for always, playing my music over there. And again, all the funky fans that make this possible, that actually come on and make comments and say nice things and, keep the family going. So, Tim, you there with us now, bro? You back with us? You froze up again. Oh, you back with us?
I'm trying to get in.
Yeah, I see. Okay, take your time, man. Ain't no rush, bro. Ain't no rush. I see you working it. I was just doing a few shout outs while we getting you in. So you take your time. I hear you. So we'll get your face in. I do hear you though. Salute to Uncle Jam's Army too. You're absolutely right, Eric. I'm a soldier in the army for Uncle Jam. That's for you, Eric. Got to get down, got to get down. I'm a soldier in the army for Uncle Jam. There you go. Uncle Jam wants you to funk with him. La da dee da dee 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 da. We can get into that, Eric. Thank you for that, bro. Yes, Uncle Jam's Army, and we all know what that's about. I didn't take my band name from the Nappyhead Funk Army. Somebody yelled that in the audience once when we was Nappyhead and said, yo, you guys are a Funk Army. So I just kind of took it that way. But Uncle Jam's Army, I'm definitely part of that. You're right. It needs its own holiday. And I've been saying the holiday has to be the Super Bowl. Funk in the Super Bowl. Land the Mothership and Boosie and George and them in the Super Bowl. Come on. It's like it's way overdue. We've had everybody in there. And I see Mark laughing. Am I right, Mark?
You're right. We need to be in the Super Bowl, and you also probably need to be playing at the NBA. I don't want you playing at a certain inauguration if a person wins, but I think you need to play at an inauguration where we've got good presidents and all along those lines. Now, if somebody wins, we don't need to play his inauguration and everything. But definitely there's a number of things that need to be going on that you need to be playing, and the legends need to be playing as well. I don't know if you saw my song or my question, but way back in the day when my parents had the radio station, there were a couple of bands that I used to admire and used to enjoy, and sometimes they would fall in that funk lexicon and everything, but I didn't know if you had a favorite GQ, Switch, or La Chic song and all along those lines.
Well, Chic, GQ, that whole era, all that music was good. I don't have a favorite per se. You know, maybe Chic Mystique or a few of their other albums that they came out with. But I was playing in a disco band at the time, so to me, it was all like a blur. It was like the Tramp GQ. Switch, I never really got into them, although they had that song "They'll Never Be," so that was okay. But I never got into that music, even though I had to play it because it wasn't funk.
Gotcha.
I would listen to it. I would definitely have it in my car on my 8-track because the girls wanted it. What's up, DeFunk Avenchi in the house? The girls liked all that stuff. See, a lot of girls, they didn't like Funkadelic.
Right.
They didn't like loud rock music blasted. They wanted to hear the smoother stuff. So I would have to keep, at that time, what you're talking about, it was the cassette era. We had a box of cassettes in the car. So I would keep Switch, GQ, all of that good stuff. But then I would also put on the Brides of Funkenstein.
Mm-hmm.
And they like, wow, who's that? And I was like, yo, that's the P-Funk girls, So, but yeah, I don't know. GQ, my favorite song might have been Disco Nights, only because when it hit, it was hot.
It was hot.
But yeah, other than that, I didn't really have a favorite when it came to that stuff. I see Tim is on twice, so he got one of his devices. Maybe he got it cut off.
Maybe, so we'll see if we can get him, because I did see his face on it at one point. I don't see it now, so let's see if this is the one that I saw the face on.
What's your favorite? Oh, he's back. There he is.
Yeah, there he is. Like I said, I'm trying to remember the songs of that time, but there were definitely a lot of the ones that had like that smooth sounding beat to it. And definitely if you were going to a club, because there was a popular club where I grew up in rural North Carolina, and those songs would definitely be the ones that folks would be playing because it would get folks on the dance floor. But they would also be playing quite a bit of Funkadelic Parliament and other things that could get folks on the dance floor and all along those lines. So it was definitely.
Mark, hold the show for a second, all right? He's calling me. Hold the show.
Yep, I'll hold it. So we're waiting to find out what's going on. But like I said, there were a number of those songs that were interesting in my mind, and definitely some that I remember, whether it was GQ and some of their songs, or whether it was some of the folks that were some of the other ones, like he was saying. I definitely remember Disco Nights. Also remember This Happy Feeling and Is It Cool? And of course, you would have folks that would get down with Shake and songs along those lines. So there were definitely some of those songs that folks would be playing and all along that line. So definitely those are some of the ones that I remember. And of course, La Freak was one that everybody was trying to find that La Freak in their life and everything. And of course, you can't forget My Feet Keep Dancing and Dance, Dance, Dance. So there were a number of those that folks enjoyed. But even there were some of the ones that folks enjoyed, like what Tina Marie was doing at that era, as well as even what some of the other folks were doing, like the Brides of Funkenstein and others. But yeah, I definitely had some Tina Marie songs that you might get at the club and all in that space. But like I said, my parents had a station at that time, and definitely there were some young folks, because we had the show Let's Rap, an early rap show way back in the late 70s and everything. We had some other shows. So
thank you, Mark. Tim is back. So let's try to get this within. Tim, and thank you for that, and thank you, audience, for hanging in there with our technical difficulties. What I was asking you before is about the amount of music that came out, and how it impacted that era. And if he freezes again, he's gonna try to come back on his phone. See, today, Sir Nose is playing games with us, trying to get us. It keeps freezing my good brother, Tim Kenley. So, Tim, I want you to go out and come back on your telephone and try to use that. Because StreamYard, I don't know if it has anything to do with that. Sometimes I think it just has to do with the area. Is that correct, Mark? You there, bro?
Yeah, sometimes it's the
we
area.
See you, but you keep freezing. But we see your face every time you move, but then it stops, it freezes up. So maybe take your phone and maybe go outside or something. And you can do it on, from your phone. It's perfectly fine with me. I know Mark doesn't mind. I just want to get your points in. You played GQ, George? Yeah, GQ was bumping now. Yeah, GQ was bad. I love GQ. Yeah, Tim is gonna go out. He's gonna try to come back. Oh, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, good, good. That's good. That's good. We can hear you, so that's good. But what I was asking you is about that glorious era when all that music came out. Did you think it was going to be another Motown? That was the original question.
I guess I wasn't focused on it being another Motown because I knew that because it has such a blackenized, if you can put it that way, a blackenized vibe to it, that I didn't think it was going to ever reach out to the masses in the way that, say, an Earth, Wind, Fire did, or the Commodores did. You know, they all had that one, you know, crossover song that got them. Hold on for 1 second. Hold on. Hold on. I don't know if you can still hear me.
Yeah, we got you.
All right, I'm going to go outside.
We got you, bro.
Yeah, you know, all those other funk bands all did the same thing. They all, you know, put out those, you know, sappy ballads that was going to get them crossover airplay, which is, you know, that's for them cool. And you know, just you know, back up what you're saying. If that's what you want to endeavor in, that's fine. But that's again, this goes back to what I was talking about with P-Funk. Their songs are just not, you know, they're not radio friendly. They're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not catered for a big audience. But yet, look at it. Now today, Parliament Funkadelic is observed as one of the most influential bands of the 20th century, not just of the rock and roll era, but the entire century. And that means a lot more to me than anybody else who may have attained success during that time, because they did it on their own terms. We didn't cross over to them. People, the outside world had to cross over to us.
You're right. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, unapologetically, they did not apologize for being themselves. And also, without getting the airplay, they were still on major labels, which is why I tell Bootsy and Patty, Peppermint Patty, and Mike and Skeet, and, you know, I used to talk to Gary, and I have Linda on a lot, and all of them, to a man, Mike Hampton. I tell them all, thank you, Mark. I tell them all that our guest today, Mr. Tim Kinley, hanging out right there. I tell them all that they were our superheroes, and because they were putting out that music on major labels like Warner Brothers, like Casablanca, like Atlantic Records, like Arista, it gave us as young Funketeers hope. And that's why we're doing it now, because we saw that they did it and it made it possible. They showed us that we could do it. I could be an ashy elbowed, ashy kneed, black skinny kid with big feet. And what back then people used to say I was ugly because I didn't look like Michael Jackson with the afro. I was dark skinned with nappy hair. It gave me hope because I saw people on stage looking just like me playing the shit that I like.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. We have all these people on our walls, all these posters with people that are extremely dark skinned, and they're not trying to be Pretty Ricky. They're trying to be Dr. Funkenstein. They're trying to be Bootzilla. They're not trying to make music that's like, you know, I love my baby, da 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 da. They're talking about space exploration. They're talking about the redemptive power of the funk. I mean, if you have a band like this and you're singing, you know, I love you, oh baby, baby, then you are wasting your time and you're wasting my time. And I don't like to have my time wasted. If you have a band that has the talent and the innovation of P-Funk, you better be talking about space exploration. You better be talking about the redemptive power of funk. You better be talking about, how the government really works. That is the reason why you have that thing.
That's right. And P-Funk hit so hard, it then made, Ohio players for sure, Mark. Sweet Sticky Thing, they was in there, Skin Tight. That was straight up funk. That's that Midwest I was talking about. But when they started putting that stuff out, it then gave us the opportunity to go back to America East is Young and listen, MAGA Brain, and really listen. Because before, I was listening to that stuff, but I was glossing over what the words meant. I knew some of them, but I didn't study it. And once I got deep into what George and Boosie and all of them was talking about, the power to one, and Bernie and them, I went back and listened to America East is Young, March Home from the Witch's Castle, which is talking about Vietnam. I went back and got into Chocolate City, what's happening to CC, Games and Dames, they say you forgot about me. So when all that stuff hit, bruh, it gave me, along with James Brown, Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud, and Marvin Gaye, What's Going On. And even though Earth Wind was considered the softies, that's the way to work. When that stuff hit, it gave me a sense of pride.
Of course.
Especially being a black kid born in the 50s, watching black people get their ass beat in the 60s, and then watching P-Funk rise up in the 70s. It gave me a sense of pride as a black man. And I got to honestly say that. How did you feel?
Of course. Absolutely. Exactly the same way. I don't know if you have a streaming thing on your TV, and I hope it's still up there, but right now, all of the episodes, or I guess a vast majority of the episodes of Soul, of the television series Soul, is on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Go there and check out the episode with Earth, Wind, and Fire. That is the Earth, Wind, and Fire I will always embrace. That is the Earth, Wind, and Fire that speaks to me. Raw Africana funk. That is what they were laying down during that entire segment. And I dig a lot of their. I have a lot of their albums, but that right there is where Earth, Wind, and Fire truly exists. They truly become something bigger than themselves on that particular episode. Everything after 1975, it's got its commercial aspects and all that. But that raw Africana funk that you see in that episode is where, in my view, is where Earth, Wind, and Fire really exist. And that's why, I guess, if you were always looking for raw, uncut, non-crossover funk, you're going to eventually, you'll dig bands like Earth, Wind, and Fire and the Commodores for a while. But eventually, if you're into that type of music, raw, uncut funk, you're going to gravitate naturally toward P-Funk.
That's right.
Because even their hits were just not crossover oriented. They were club oriented. They were dance floor oriented, but they were not necessarily crossover oriented. Flashlight and One Nation, I don't think Top 40 Radio was ready for those records to be hits. And it's an ironic thing. I don't know if you know of the radio station WABC in New York City. Like it was like the top radio station in New York City for the longest time.
Yep.
Oh yes, thank you. Okay. I heard Flashlight on WABC more than I heard on BLS. If you can believe that,
dude, I do believe it. Go ahead.
No. Go. What was I say?
I was just gonna say I heard Quasar funkin' in the Funk Shine on WABC. The first time I heard it, that Quasar record with Glenn Goins, it was on WABC.
Wow.
Hey, you mother! I'm like, what? And they're like, "Will be funkin'," and I knew the voice. I was like, "Yo, that's one of the Parliaments or something, man." And then sure enough, it was Glenn Goins because I didn't know about Quasar. But you're right, bro. See, and again, the game was designed to work against them. But where the industry effed up at is that they took it for granted that this wasn't gonna last. George Funkavinci Parliament was the only band that landed a spaceship on the stage that killed the concert game. And you are absolutely right. Absolutely right. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Mark says, the producer here, how about Zach singing about AI before we had AI? Isn't that what computer love is all about? You're right.
Pretty bad, computer love right there.
Yep.
Roger laid it down a lot of years before it became an actual reality for a lot of folks.
Yep.
I think that's why we always have to understand in totality what the P-Funk legacy represents. I don't know if I think the fans understand it. I don't know if people outside of the thing totally get it. I don't think they understand. One reason why they don't understand is because it was such a black thing. Even James Brown, as much as we would love to put his music in a pro-black context, has had top 10 hits. He's had top 5 hits. He's won Grammys. He had a #2 album with Live at the Apollo. He was able, in some ways, to penetrate the white pop consciousness. P-Funk just was never able to do that because they took blackness to another realm that in a way that the vast majority of whites just could not understand and could not embrace. I think it's like the general music audience wants their music easy to digest and easy to explain. You can't really explain how the same band is signed to 5 or 6 different labels. Nobody was doing that back then, and I think and like I always say, I think the industry hated it because it was legal. That is what pissed them off more than anything else, I think.
And this is why, and you can help me with the names. This is why we must keep the funk alive. Eddie Hazel, Tiki Fullwood, Tal Ross, Fuzzy Haskins, Ray Davis,
Calvin
Simon, Grady Thomas, all of those brothers that came there first and all the musicians that played on that early stuff built the foundation. And I won't get into all of the other stuff because that's not for me to say. All I know is I honor the musicians. It's like I don't agree with war, but I honor the veterans. You know what I'm saying? I honor the men and women who made this funk. Dawn Silver got a great book out, The Queen of Funk. I love you, Dawn. Shout out. I'm trying to get you on the podcast soon. If I ever get a budget, I can pay you, right? And I know you will come on for free. It's just a time thing. I know, sweetie. I know. We have lots of love for each other because we talk all the time. But you know what? All those brothers that laid the foundations, and George, the comic book, Black Chronauts, I thought that's a dope name. Yes. But all those brothers that laid the foundation and those sisters that laid the foundations, Mahalia and all of them, man, they deserve their props. And the only way we can keep their names alive, the Belita Woods of the world, is to make sure we tell the facts, the truth about this funk thing. That's one of the reasons why I do this show, because it was never a division. It was always about togetherness. Your thoughts?
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with that. That's why That's why I try to take the extra step and make sure that this legacy is properly documented, and make sure that people respect that anyone who takes the extra step in the proper documentation of this musical legacy. No, it's easy. It's all right to say, well, I bought this and I bought these records and I support the band, but but for anybody to get the point, you're going to have to take the extra step and say, you know what? I'm going to scan this article. I'm going to scan these historical photographs so that people understand help people understand all of the dimensions of this legacy. It's so multifaceted. You know, it's like what's that fruit? I think it's a fruit or a vegetable where you keep like a kumquat. You know, you keep peeling the layers until you get to the center. It's like that. It's multi-layered, multifaceted. It's about as multi-layered and multifaceted as the music itself.
Yeah. You know, some facts that people might not be aware of about the original Mothership, you know, and you could tell us about that when it was sold and everything. What are your thoughts on that?
In terms of the Mothership, what do you mean?
Like,
exactly.
Because the original stage show was so elaborate, but the mounting debt and the cost of the Mothership, it was discarded in 1982 and 83. So,
right.
And then now, you know, then again in 98, I remember they did the relanding of the new Mothership because I was there, because that's when I was hanging out with Sheila and Dawn and them and Mike and them on the Mothership, and they had the new one that landed in Central Park. That I was there for that because David Letterman, the guy Doc was from David Letterman, was there on the show, and you know a lot of people on the show, and Boosie was there, so it was great. Central Park,
Central Park was beautiful. Central Park was beautiful.
I was there, man, and let me tell you, getting back to what you said about you know, a lot of the albums being, a lot of the band members all being on different albums. I think that's where a lot of the Chili Peppers music and, you know, bands like that came along and, you know, started pieces here, pieces there, and then they made funk palatable to the young white kids, the hippie kids, the young white kids that didn't want to go see like Van Halen. They would hang out at Grateful Dead concerts, and the Deadheads became P-Funk heads. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly. They found out how music is actually supposed to be applied, but that's not. I'm not going to go there. I'm glad they're there. I'm glad they came over. I'm glad that the audience is swelling, and hopefully through P-Funk. Hold on for 1 second.
Wow, no worries.
Yeah, this ambulance is passing by.
Yeah, we hear it. No worries. No worries. This is raw, bro.
I know, it's like they're running over me.
It's all good, bro.
You know, hopefully through a band like P-Funk, they not only understand the music, they not only understand the culture, but maybe they'll take that time to use that music to understand Black culture.
Yeah.
Because I think that P-Funk, the music is an extension of us.
Yes.
Oh, hold on for a minute. The music is an extension of us, and because of that, once you embrace P-Funk, you embrace Black culture in a lot of ways. Because in many ways, P-Funk is a culture within a culture. Not every Black person can understand what P-Funk represents, and until they listen to it, when they go to a show, and it's like, oh my God, because I know you're probably the same way. When you went to those shows, you probably never saw a bigger gathering of Black folks in your entire life before you went to those shows. Am I correct?
Absolutely correct. You know, and that was the beauty of it, because we used to plan a Parliament show, Funkadelic show, 2 months before we would be going. We would all get together. And back then you had to go get your tickets. Okay. For those of you right now that's watching, that's young and do everything on your phone, we literally had to get in our cars, drive to Ticketmaster or Ticketron that was usually located in the mall. And for me, when they came to the Coliseum or the city, I would go to MSG or go to Nassau Coliseum, literally stand on the line and buy my ticket. Right?
Right.
And then hold the ticket so I don't lose it.
That's right.
We'd all get together and say, we meeting here, we taking the train here, we driving here. It was a 2-month planning event. And as it got closer, we'd start picking out our clothes. As it got closer, we'd be like, yo, I wonder what song they're going to do. You know, and then the night before, we'd all get our weed, roll up as many joints as we could.
Yes.
Right? And get our booms from wine. And the next day, I see tomorrow, Dad, I'm going to the concert, you know. And it was cool.
Yes.
It was
and it was like It was really again. You're describing how it's part of the culture. You're describing how it wasn't just going to a show. You were going to an event. You were going to something that was bigger than you. Something you couldn't necessarily explain to the person next to you. You couldn't explain why this music is digging deep into our consciousness in the way that it does.
Yep.
Everything else is dead.
No. Go ahead.
Everything else is good black entertainment. You know it. You know how it is. Is good, upstanding black entertainment that makes us look good in the eyes of white America. No, P-Funk is not like that. P-Funk is blacker than thou, blacker than you, and you can either jump on this train. Get on this ship and fly with us, or you'll be left behind.
That's right. I agree with you, Tim Kinley. Club Funketeer ambassador, also P-Funk historian. Been doing a lot of historical things with P-Funk as far as taking a lot of photos and everything else. And you can go back and check out one of our other shows where he was on, and we were talking about that. But Mark just broke with some breaking news. But before we drop this bombshell, right, and this is a bombshell, and it's something that I've been saying along with Kevin Harrington for years. Okay, so check this out. I want to honor, and then Tim, you hang out with us, but I'm going to show this video. I want to honor Mr. Bootsy Collins because he just received last Saturday, the Black Music Awards down in Atlanta. Okay, so we want to honor Mr. Bootsy Collins, and we want to thank you for everything that you've done for the funk. And congratulations, Bootsy.
Yes, exactly.
You guys can look on all my pages. Congratulations, man, because let me tell you something, bro. We all follow and honor what you and Pep and Patty are doing. And no one is more deserving of this award than you. So thank you, big brother Bootsy, and thank you for, we keep it personal between him and I. But I just want to say thank you for hitting me up, man. You and Patty.
All I want to say is what took them so long?
Yo, dude, I tell you now, what took him so long? And that was just in Atlanta, so y'all can go back and watch that. It's on his Patron channel, I believe. So check this out in honor of Mr. Bootsy Collins and his award.
It's however you feel, but you just have to fit it between that space, that little space that you got, which is one. And then you would try to fit your different notes, but you felt in between it, like, and that's the funk. And you can change that. And that's the funk. And you can change that.
True essence of the funk is the power of the one. It's the power of the one. This funk has just begun. You can lean on it. Let your mind be free, Bob.
Night shall not won't die.
But I needs the funk, baby.
it don't stop, gotta keep it going all night long. Never flash, not to smash, but the roof down off this mother. Running up, girl, to the bar, to the dollar, to the loop, this baby mama.
You give me the power to be stuck. You give me the power in what I think. Power, you give me power, baby. Of the funk is the power of the one, Bob. One.
Tim, you there, bro?
I'm still here.
Awesome, man. Mark, what happened to his picture? It's okay. It's all good. Listen, not to change the subject, but we're hanging out with Mr. Tim Kinley today, P-Funk historian, Club Funketeer ambassador, does all the good funk stuff down there and travels all around the world for the funk. And thank you for joining us, man. So I've been trying to tell people this for years. Thank you, Mark. I've been trying to tell people this for years. The monopoly about concerts, and I want your opinion about that, because Mark is always like the ever-going reporter, and he just broke with some breaking news that I'm going to share in the chat. So, Mark, I'm going to share this with everybody because we all knew it was going to come to this. And shout out, rest in peace to Bernard Stewart, one of our funk brothers that
yes, indeed.
transitioned out.
Yes, indeed.
George posted. Thank you, George, for that. I don't know when it happened. Do you know, Tim?
Well, when he passed?
Yeah.
It's a couple of days ago, I believe.
Okay. I saw something. He wasn't sick. He was sick, and then I didn't know he had passed. But rest in peace, bro. We got you, and we're going to continue to uplift your name. And for everybody out there watching, my East Coast, my West Coast, we love all you guys. Hi, Cindy in Seattle. Lisa Love out there, and everybody, Okay, the monopoly was this. I think that Live Nation and all these other places are how do you say, controlling all the concerts. And now there is a I guess lawsuit. Come on in, Mark, and explain this to us.
Yeah, Merrick Garland, who is the Attorney General, has filed an antitrust lawsuit against Live Nation because Live Nation also owns Ticketmaster and all along those lines. So it is actually a lawsuit that is going after that monopoly because, as you have said on this show, I've said on other shows as well, I'm sure Tim would even agree that they have had a monopoly and have been part of the reason that the costs have been driven up and everything. So I don't know what took them so long, but they have definitely filed this lawsuit. They actually filed it, I believe it was yesterday, and it looks like it's going forward. And it does look like they're trying to break up that big time monopoly.
They have to, bro, because this is ridiculous. Would you agree, Tim?
Oh, of course, absolutely. They've had a monopoly way too long, and I believe that it has resulted in exorbitant ticket prices. Right. Mike, come on, just one question, Zach. How much did you pay for tickets back in when we were coming up?
It was.
I'll get the same question to Mark.
They were a lot cheaper.
I never went to a concert that cost me more than $24.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yep.
Now, how much does it cost?
I can tell you for a fact that right now, Lion King, which is a Broadway show, is going on, and I just looked it up, and the ticket prices are starting. And remember, this is a touring show; it's not the actual Lion King from up in New York. They're starting at $75. They're $75 to $200.
That's what. Oh, come on!
I know when my daughters wanted to see Bruno Mars down here, it was $200 for the Crow's Nest. It was $5,000 for front row.
See, that's insane. That's insane, and it's senseless. How do you justify charging that much when you know your CD, if it does come out on CD, if your music comes out on CD, doesn't cost any more than maybe $15?
George said he paid no more than 15, right?
And Zach and Tim, just to let you know that I was correct. It was actually on Thursday, but not Friday. And it says that the U.S. government and dozens of states have sued Live Nation on Thursday, alleging that for years the parent company of Ticketmaster, which Ticketmaster owns like 70% of all tickets, had been abusing the industry and had created this dominance to harm fans nationwide. So definitely it was filed. Actually, it looks like it was filed in New York City. So it filed up there in New York by the Justice Department, and there are 30 states that are also involved as well, because they're challenging the country's biggest ticketing website and concert promoter, because they are the major game in town and all along those lines. So it does look like they might be getting broken up, just like we broke up the bail sometimes back and all along those lines. So I agree with y'all. It should have happened ages ago.
And two, nobody's gonna go.
You got that right.
You know what I'm saying? If they keep jacking it like that, the artists will be like, yo, drop the price again. You know, I even seen Daryl Hall announcing his new album on Facebook.
Oh, wow.
He's got all the money in the world. And he's like, hi, I'm Daryl Hall. I just dropped a new album. And it's right on Facebook. So, you know, the way we consume everything now is so different, you know. But wow. George, $15. I remember once I had $24 and it was the Budweiser Bowl. And it was about, like, I don't know, 8 bands there. Rick James, Ashford and Simpson, Cameo, Frankie Beverly and Mays, Stephanie Mills, Tina Marie. You know what I'm saying? All on one show.
Wow.
Exactly. And you knew what you were getting. And that's why you paid that money, because you know you were going to get a slamming show. These days, they want $500 for a ticket for music that doesn't in any way penetrate your soul in the way that those bands did. Come on, no.
Hey, Tim and Zach, it gets even deeper, because apparently, which I had an idea, but I wasn't 100% sure. But as I'm reading this lawsuit, it says that not only do they control about 60% of concert promotions at major concert venues around the country, but they manage more than 400 artists. So Live Nation itself also owns the artists as well, because they manage the artists and they control more than 265 concert venues just in North America. So, like,
I've been saying this. Every independent artist has been saying they have tried to muck it up so none of us can get to that next level. But we there anyway, because y'all can find the grassroots funk at your festivals and not Live Nation festivals like Shakori Hills or Eno down here. We're there. So that's where you can find us. But Tim, I wanted to ask you about the carryover, and we was talking about the crossover, right? Now that music has completely crossed over. And thank you, Mark, for this breaking news, because this is important, because I got to let Kevin know this, and he probably knows. But when Atomic Dog came out, right, and the video era of funk came out, and George and them went overseas and started doing, you know, the Tracy Ullman show and the movie The Night Before. And, you know, they started doing that stuff there. And Prince was at his peak with his label. Then they joined Paisley Park and put out some of that stuff. Hey, man, smell my finger and some of that stuff, you know. And the resurgence came about. Do you think it was due to that Atomic Dog song?
Two things. I think it was due to the long-term success of Atomic Dog, but I also think undeniably the rappers had a big hand in having that music experience a serious resurgence. And I don't think a lot of people understand, even some other musicians, like I remember, you know, I'm sorry I'm sorry he passed away, but you know, that guy that produced Nirvana, was his name Steve Albini. You know, he was criticizing sampling, talking about how lazy it was. When I see any white person talk about, that's a lazy way out. You know, there's just racist undertones in it that people don't understand. But anyway, I don't think they understand that, for one, all sampling made all those labels take a good long look at their black music archive and made and pushed them to reissue those albums. And when they reissued those albums out, the response from the public was so great that these people, a lot of these same people, who, if they were still alive, went back on tour with new product. That's the bigger picture that a lot of people don't understand. And the same thing happened to P-Funk. You had all these rappers, particularly the rappers on the West Coast, who sampled a lot of this music, and they and then in turn, Polygram started putting out the Parliament albums again. Warner Brothers started reissuing the Boosie albums and all that, and all this stuff started to sell again to the degree that Maggot Brain, an album that didn't chart any higher than maybe number 108 the first time it charted, it went back on the chart. How many albums do you know that charted that low the first time and they actually go back on the charts? 20 years later?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you know what? You're right. And see, nothing against millennials and young people, but they get a chance to pick and choose stuff. They don't even know about people, so they never do it. Some old heads, when they do commercials and stuff, I heard, "Can you get? I wanna know if you can get that." And that's commercial. I've heard a time. So somebody somewhere knows about this stuff because they're starting to drop it in certain areas here and there, but not enough. Not nowhere near enough. George brought up a thing. We can't even watch a sporting event on TV without having to pay something for it when it used to be for free. I agree. That's one of my pet peeves. I bitch and moan about that constantly. And also praising Carline for PTV. So if y'all don't know about that, whenever there's a concert, I'm assuming that's what this means, right, George? That she's running it on PTV online and you can catch the shows for free. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
I didn't know about PTV. Where
Yes,
can you find it at?
Just on their first on their Facebook page for one. I've actually done video services for PTV as well myself. I did it last week when we were in North Carolina. Yeah, that's a great thing. To always have those shows on Facebook through Facebook Live is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Especially if you have, if you have the capability of hooking this up to a nice sound system, then you're hearing it like you're there. So it's nice.
There. Yeah. Y'all check this out. Hang Tough with Mr. Tim Kinley. We made it work. Sir Nose Can't Stop the Funk. And we were honoring Mr. Bootsy Collins, and we were talking about that. So y'all hang tough for a minute. Tim, I want to show this, and then I want your thoughts about it, okay?
How y'all doing? Nice to meet you. Rashad Milligan from Rolling Out. Nice to meet you. I'm doing well. Okay, Bootsy Collins, 2024 Black Music Honors. What is the importance of celebrating Black music?
Oh, it's like, it's kind of like celebrating yourself because you need to, and this is a place that lifts you up, to make you know that you should celebrate yourself too, and for them to do that, it's like, words can't describe it. You put your life out, you do this all your life, and I get a chance to be honored, and not feel like I should be honored. But at the same time, it's like to be honored by Black Music Honors is a big deal. And, I don't think the whole world knows how important we as people are and what we've done for everybody. And so, to be honored, there's no words. It's just it's more than thank you. Thank you don't do it. I gotta figure that word out.
Well, Boosie, I always wanted to ask you this question. So many years later, how did you feel about Childish Gambino's Redbone? Like flipping your record, so many decades later, to have a record and music that lasts, the test of time. What did that mean to you to kind of see him do that?
It always means we're moving forward. and it's always like a compliment when people do that, you know, to something that you are known for, and they do it. That just goes to show that, wow, the younger ones are picking up on this. So it makes you feel good. It makes you feel great. You know, it's like, wow. We didn't do this for that purpose. We did this because we were serving the people at that time. You know, but the next generation comes along and grabs that, and they feed the people that's coming up in that generation. So that keeps the funk alive. So it's a beautiful thing.
And my final question: who else keeps the funk alive today that you're listening to, and you're like, oh yeah, they're doing it right? Who's it?
Mono Neon, who is going to be performing tonight, he's one of the hundreds, that's, that get my voice. Victor Wu, Snoop is always keeping the funk alive, So we got a new artist called Phantasma. We can go on and on, but it's just amazing to me to see the youth with stars in their eyes and able to play and sing, for real. So that's what gets me.
All right, Boosie, thank you so much for stopping by Rolling Out today. Nice meeting you. Nice meeting you. All right, take care.
Audio was kind of hard to hear there. You Tim there?
I'm here.
But basically what he was saying is what you and I just been saying about keeping it alive, honoring, those that came before us. They was just making the music. I was listening really close to what he said about just for the times, for the people that was there. Thank you, Mark, for that. Appreciate that. So
yeah, thanks, Mark.
That's what it's about, and he said that. And if you go back, you can find it somewhere, I'm sure, and you can hear it better. He basically was saying, for my audience out there that couldn't hear it, that's what this is. It's like the next generation. He mentioned Mono Neon. He's one of the cats, so I'm sure that the Funk Army is in his mind somewhere. I'm going to make sure that seed stays alive. We keep the funk alive however we do it, wherever we are. And that's what Big Brother Boosie and Peppermint Patty, my sister, is talking about.
Absolutely.
And to see, that's why I need you to constantly be around me, and I stay in touch with you because you're the essence of that.
Thank you for that, my brother. And I think this is easy for us because we're so seasoned. We're such seasoned funketeers that we can look at this legacy in its totality a lot easier than most. Think about this for 1 minute. Here you have a man who starts the decade, 1970, starts the decade out helping James Brown, helping to usher James Brown into the Black Power era. Then by 72, he joins Parliament Funkadelic. By 74, he is a main figure in the revitalization of Parliament. By 76, throughout the rest of the decade, he's not only singing and he's not only playing on a whole bunch of P-Funk hits, but now he's launched his own funk vehicle known as Boosie's Rubber Band. That all transpired in 10 years. It takes some people that long just to find their footing in terms of what they want to do musically. And here he was being a part of what is it? 3 or 4 major funk movements in 10 years. Who else? You're right, but like you said before, who else better than Bootsy Collins deserves this honor more than him?
Yeah, you're right. And see, when we look back on the careers of people, we don't think about the other people sometimes that they inspired. See, and that's what Bootsy told me in a private conversation. George told me this in a private conversation. Peppermint Patty, Skeet, and all of them. Just keep the funk alive. Keep doing what you do. And don't worry about anything else. Just stay in your lane. And for those of you that want to watch it, it's on Facebook or YouTube. Next time Parliament Funkadelic has a concert, I just posted the link in the chat, and you can go look at it. Thank you, George the Funk Adventure. I appreciate you. And thank you, Mark, for looking that up. But Tim, I'm going to give you the last word. This has been a great anniversary month, a great anniversary ending to the show. What better way to end our anniversary month than to have you on, P-Funk historian? Yeah, basically, from the beginning of the re-Renaissance, and we appreciate you, brother. We appreciate you, man, and we love you, man. So I'm going to give you the last word. I'm going to give you the full screen, and then we're going to kind of ease our way out of here. All right. It's been a glorious day. Honor those men and women. Take care of your families and yourselves. Your health is very important. Your mental health, too, is Mental Health Awareness Month, so do not be afraid to go seek some help. But, Tim, you got the full screen. I'm going to give you the...
Well, what can I tell you? I want to thank you for, putting out the radio show every week as you do. Thank you, Mark. This is the way. This is just one of the ways that we keep funk alive. It is one of the ways that we make sure this particular musical genre is always remembered, properly honored, and is ready to help other younger musicians define who they are and what they want to be. Obviously, I did want to send love out to everybody in the P-Funk universe: George Clinton, Carlon Thompson Clinton, Bootsy Collins, Patty Collins, the love of my life, Donna McCoy, my sister Lynette. And yes, I'm right in the middle of a birthday celebration myself all this weekend. My birthday is Monday, and hopefully, it'll be a really nice, quiet birthday celebration. You don't turn 60 every day, and turning 60 for me is quite a milestone. It's a nice, pretty milestone, if you want to put it like that. And I'm glad I'm still here to do this. I'm glad you're still here to do this, Zach, and Mark. Let's keep doing this so that people will eventually get the point, as George likes to say. So ever funkin' on to the P-Funk universe. Peace out.
Yo, that's my brother, Tim Kinley, from another mothership, telling you the straight dope, P-Funk historian, and we're going to keep the funk alive. He's my Club Funkaday ambassador brother, and we doing some stuff with Bootsy and Patty, Funk Not Fight, and as you just heard him say so eloquently, keep the funk alive, man. Y'all enjoy your weekend. Thank you, Tim. Thank you to all our guests, and thank you to everybody tuning in around the world. I'm going to take y'all out with a little something, my favorite. Y'all sit back and relax. Let's ride.
Tried to hide the fact from us that life was really tough. I can hear my mother call. I can hear my mother call. Late at night I hear her call. On the road I hear her call. She say, "What about this for the kids? Everything I'll be. Please, please don't judge me too small."
Funk from the Front Seat, 9 on the Grind TV, every Saturday, 12 p.m. Next week, we're taking a much-needed vacation day, and we'll be back the second week in June. All right, so y'all hang out with us. We got some new shows and breaking in some new people. So we'll see y'all in 2 weeks live right here, 9 on the Grind TV. And remember, all of these opinions are the opinions of myself, my producers, and my guests. Not Facebook, not YouTube, not Twitter, Not StreamYard, not TikTok, and all the other platforms I may be on, not LinkedIn or whatever. It's just our opinions, like we're sitting in the living room talking to you. All right? Y'all remember that. We ain't trying to hurt nobody. Peace. Okay? Be kind to somebody today. Remember, find joy in the midst of chaos. Quote of the day: if you got funk, you got style. Woo! Remember that. If you got funk, you got style. You're funkin' and you're styling all the while. If you got funk, you got class. Out on the floor, moving your head. All right? I'll see y'all next week, man. Peace. Our guest today, Mr. Tim Tinley. Woo! Been a great month. Anniversary shows, but I tell you, they do wear me out. I'll see y'all later. Be safe.